The Naysayers is a podcast with two bozos giving opinions out there. By no stretch of the imagination are we professionals. Please don't sue us.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Naysayers podcast. I'm one of your hosts, William Ruggio.
And I'm Shane Federley. Today's episode is brought to you by Locked with Lawrenson. Ryan Lawrenson runs Locked with Lawrenson. It's a multi-species fishing guide service located here in central New York. Thank you, Locked with Lawrenson.
Best charter out there
of all time. Okay, so today's segment is called The Pulse.
The pulse.
The Pulse.
So it is, do you have a pulse for the playoffs still?
Right, so we're going to do NFC conference first. So,
where do you want to start, bud?
Let's start the NFC East.
Are we going in that, or are we going to just do the 7?
Let's just do the 7.
All right. Tell me what you got.
All right, so number 1 for me. This is what we're going to do, by the way, world. It's going to be like what I think is going to end in the top 7 for playoffs. So NFC number 1, Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Yes. So I have the Eagles.
At number 1?
At number 1.
Finishing out the season as the number 1 seed.
Correct.
So
my reasoning for that is that they are going to be playing this week, coming up week. And I think the Eagles were embarrassed by San Francisco, and they're going to have a comeback game. I don't think it's going to be like crazy or anything, but I think they're going to win by like 3 or so points, somewhere around there. And I think that's going to put them. They already beat them once, so if they beat them again, and of course they beat the other teams that they're supposed to play. Actually, I think Philly has an easier schedule too. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did.
All right, yeah. I mean, you got the Cowboys, you got Seahawks are kind of good.
Right.
But Giants, Cardinals, and Giants again. So those are 3.
Speaking of Cardinals, wasn't that your upset of the week?
That was my upset of the week.
So
folks.
Don't count them out ever.
That's true. But then the Cowboys, they play the Bills and the Eagles, obviously.
Easy.
Dolphins.
Hard.
Lions. And Washington. Washington's the easy one, or should be.
Should be.
Right?
Yeah,
so
the NFL, nothing's easy.
Yeah, so I have Philadelphia at the end of the season, either 13 or 14 wins.
Okay.
And that's why I have them number 1.
So number 2 for me is the 49ers, obviously. Number 3 is Detroit. Number 4, because it's just not fair in the NFC. I wish the Dolphins played the NFC. But the Falcons, because they're just going to win that division. Maybe. But this is how I feel right now. And then number 5 is the Eagles to me because, I don't know, I think they're playing sloppy and it's going to get sloppier. And then number 6 is Seattle for me.
6 is Seattle?
Yes.
Or 7?
6.
You got them 6th?
Yeah.
Okay. I have the Packers 6th.
That's, you know what? That's why we do these things, and you're here to help me out. Yeah, I had Packers 6, then Seattle 7. So.
Yeah. And yeah, so the 7th one we disagree on.
Right.
I actually have the Rams, who are 6-6 right now. I feel like they can beat Washington, they can beat the Saints, and they can beat the Giants. And so, therefore, I have them 9-8. I think they're going to lose to the Ravens and the 49ers. Okay, good. And who's the other one you said? Seattle. So so they're 6-6 also.
Right.
But they have the Niners, the Eagles, Steelers, which are still in the playoff hunt, and the Cardinals, which, you never know with that. So I just think they have a little bit harder of a schedule to get in. And that's why I have the Rams.
Okay, now let me ask you this.
The other ones I did agree with you on, by the way. Wow. You kind of flew through that.
Look at us.
But we should talk about that one division because that could literally be anybody.
Which one?
Atlanta.
The NFC South? Yeah. But I want to ask you one more question.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Not one. I lied right to the American people. But a couple questions is Panthers, Polts,
Gone.
dead?
They're dead.
Jeez. All right. What about the Cardinals?
I think, yeah, they're dead.
Yeah,
I
they're
believe
dead.
they only have 3
3-10.
wins. Yeah.
Just check it. You got to go around and make sure the dead are dead.
Is
That's
it
just the thing I learned.
Giants, Washington, dead.
Bears.
Dead.
The Bears are dead.
The Bears are dead.
Dang. Commanders.
Dead.
Okay. So back to that division because 3 teams could rally for that.
This is where that pulse comes in. That's why I want to talk about it.
Right.
Because, we said our favorites there,
Mhm.
our top 7, but there is a pulse for some of these teams,
Right.
like the Saints. Man, I really tried to. So for me, I wanted Tampa Bay to make the playoffs.
Yeah, because
I could care less about Atlanta.
Right. And we've said it 100 times, only 2 episodes, so like twice. But we're big Baker Mayfield fans. So
yeah. So, but here's the problem though. They have to go play the Falcons, which is a question mark. They should win, really. How I look at it is I feel they have a better quarterback. So that's how I've been doing the head-to-head. So I do think Baker is better than Ritter. So but then they.
Do you think White is better than Bijan Robinson though? Running back?
They're about even this year.
Yeah.
Because Bijan actually has a ton of talent, but they're
just
now. Well, they've just started using him.
Right.
So that's why they're a little bit better than they were like 4 or 5 games ago.
Right.
But White has been actually really good.
Yeah.
I think he's been. I mean, as good as any running back out there, really. I mean, except for your top ones.
Yeah. So now, I like what you're saying there with the quarterbacks. Let's not count out who I think is the greatest quarterback of all time. Jameis Winston.
Okay.
And I don't foresee Carr coming back from that head, shoulder, back injury, which is crazy. Poor guy, And I think it's Jameis Winston show for at least a little while. We saw him go in there and almost throw an interception on that first play, but he got lucky. But I like to watch him, and I think he can win some games. So I like why you say that that's the pulse for this division.
Well, yeah. I mean, and let me keep going with Tampa Bay a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So the tough schedule, because I really wanted them to make it, but Packers, Jaguars, and then they do play the Saints, but they should beat the Panthers at the end. And then to your case, the Saints are playing the Panthers.
Right. So everybody gets a free one then.
Yeah, the Giants. That should be a gimme.
Right.
Or, free
I
one.
will watch out for Tommy DeVito.
But then, yeah, right.
You
But then they do play the Rams in Tampa Bay. Oh, they have a head-to-head there. So that might actually be a big game if Atlanta falls apart.
Right.
And then they got the Falcons at the end. So that's why I tried to make a case for my own brain to get Tampa Bay in the playoffs, but I just think Rams have where are they? They have 4 teams I guess they have 3. They should beat the Washington, the Saints, and Giants.
Oh, yeah.
But they do have the Ravens and 49ers. So really, any of
It's
these teams, they all have a pulse still.
Again, I've said this before, and I'll say it one more time. It's the best time of the year. Well, I think I said most wonderful time of the year, but it's still the best time of the year. It's football.
It is.
And
football!
It's exciting for these next few games. It counts. It matters. It's real.
Yeah. So that's the NFC. I think that hits all of it, right?
Yeah. Now, for what is the greatest conference in the entire NFL, the universe of the NFL, the AFC. Now,
it's gonna be a little tougher, I think.
You want me to do the same thing where I go my 1 through 7?
Yeah, I think we're gonna be very different on some of them, at least in the rankings.
Right. Okay, so number 1, Miami Dolphins.
Give it to me. Tell me what you think.
I'll get there.
I'm letting you go right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go on the greatest team right now, number 1 in the NFL, Miami Dolphins, as of this moment.
Okay.
Go for it, buddy.
Why do I think they'll end up at number 1? The schedule to me is just a little too Simple. So we have Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. That's an easy one, right? Or should be.
Should be. Should be. Then we have Dallas.
No, you have the Jets.
Oh, I don't even count the Jets.
Oh,
Sorry.
You're right.
Dead.
You're right. Okay.
They're dead.
Well, I figured Titans.
Titans might put up a fight.
Yeah. Do they even have a pulse? I don't even. Did we? We didn't even talk
I'm
about
not
them.
worried. I'm not worried about their pulse. I'm worried about how we're going to play them.
Nah.
It might be tough.
Nah.
Derrick Henry's still there.
That's it though. That's Spears, maybe. I guess.
DeAndre Hopkins might catch a football.
Doubt it.
You're right.
Doubtful.
Definitely. You never know. And then Dallas
Okay.
after the Jets. We already seen what we did. The Jets, we're going to come home and just annihilate them. So, and then that Dallas game might be tough, but I think we're going to win. It's going to be close. And then because this is the best time of the year, after that we play the Ravens in a head-to-head matchup to keep playing for the number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, just like last year,
with the home field advantage,
just like last year, we're going to have a huge comeback and blow the doors off. And then the last game of the season, it's going to be easy. So there you go.
Wow. Well, here we go. So this is we already disagree right away. I do think Miami.
Shocker.
I do think Miami's going to make the playoffs. I do. But I do see a couple losses.
Ooh.
I did give you, so obviously Titans, Jets.
Right.
So that brings you to 11. And out of the last 3 games, I gave you one more win, which puts you in the playoffs.
Who did we beat?
I don't know. You thought
yeah.
I was going to just come out and say the Bills. Well, that's not true. I'm not saying that. I just think you should be able to beat one of those teams. I think it's either going to be the Cowboys or the Bills. I don't think you're going to beat the Ravens this year. I don't see it. And going into that, I have the Ravens at number 1.
Okay. I have the Ravens at 2 because they lose to us.
Let's see. What do I have them as a record? So I think it was the same record I had. Yeah, 12-5. Or is that right?
Yeah.
12-5. Yeah. Miami, I think I said 12-6 earlier. That's 12-5 for both of them.
Again, we're not professionals.
But that head-to-head is where you lose that spot. Right. But on that note, we clearly disagree with number 2, I believe, also.
Yeah, because I have the Ravens at 2. Let me just go through my order.
Okay.
Number 2 is the Ravens. Number 3 is the Chiefs. Number 4 is the Jaguars.
Stop right there. Let's just stop right there just because these are the 4 main ones.
Correct.
And we actually do agree on the 4.
Mm-hmm.
Just different order. So that's why I'm going to stop you there because I have the Chiefs. And let me find them really quick. Yeah, let's see. Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. I also have them at 12-5.
Wow.
Well, because I think they could lose. I do think they're going to lose to the Bills. I do.
And I'm going to go on record saying I hope so. So that's the only time you'll ever hear me root for the Bills.
So I think they'll lose to the Bills. But then they have the Patriots, Raiders, Bengals, and Chargers. I don't see. I mean, it is possible, but I don't see anybody else beating them, which puts them at 12-5, which is tied with the Miami Dolphins. And what's that mean? They had a head-to-head and they beat the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So therefore, the Chiefs, for me, right now are number 2, unless something happens. And then Miami's 3, and Jaguars are 4 for me at 11-6.
Wow.
They're a weird team too. If the Jaguars screw up, I was going to say this earlier, but if the Jaguars screw up and they're only like 10 wins, they have a lot of the head-to-heads.
Right.
So they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Whether it's a wild card or the main one, I do think they're going to be the AFC South champs, but they have a lot of the head-to-heads. They beat the Colts in Houston. and they beat the Bills. So a lot of the head-to-heads.
Right. So,
So
yeah.
so let's okay. So then go ahead. So now 5, 6, and 7.
All right, number 5. Houston Texans.
Okay.
Number 6. Indianapolis Colts.
You're not cheating on my thing, are you?
I am not. I have this over here. Number 7, and Lord, forgive me, Buffalo Bills.
Thought you had Denver in there at one point.
Yeah, I did, but then I thought, and some things happened, and I changed.
All right, well, that's why you do the show, right?
And I was trying to please you because we know the Bills aren't going to get in there.
Listen,
and probably
there is no pleasing me.
That's true. That's true.
All right, well, so now we're similar. I do have Houston, Colts. I do have Denver at 7.
Wait.
I know.
Wow.
Here's the thing. Here's why. I'm going to explain it to you. I want the Bills to go. If they win outright, they're in the playoffs. Okay? That's going to be hard to do with a Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, Patriots. Patriots are easy, but then Dolphins. That's going to be hard to do to win out. We still have a pulse if we lose one more game. So let's say it's the Cowboys. Hopefully we beat the Chiefs. We lose to the Cowboys. We still have a pulse, but we need things to happen.
Some help, yeah.
Yeah, some help. So Denver's got to lose to the Chargers once. They play them twice. Because if we tie with any of these teams, so if we go 10-7 and Denver goes 10-7, there's the head-to-head. We're out. Right. Denver's in. Colts and Houston, when I look at their schedule, they both easily could win 11 games.
Right.
So we would need stuff to happen. So, I mean, they play the Bengals and Steelers. Let's say they win one of them. And then they got the Falcons, Raiders. That last game might be huge because they're playing Texans.
Right.
So, same with Houston. They got to give me with the Jets. They got Titans twice. And then the Browns. So, when I look at the schedules, those schedules are easier than what the Bills have to go through. Now, could they do it? I mean, they are looking like the Bills as of late. They lost to the Eagles, but it was only by 3, and really
it's a close game.
Yeah, some stupid things happened that game. So, no excuses, but they looked like the Bills, and so that they do have a chance. And really, the Chargers, Patriots, it could come down to that Dolphins game, which could be big for both because the Dolphins will be playing for home field advantage.
I think on that game, I'm going to go down there and suit up and help them win.
It's a good idea. I think
that
they
will need me.
Yeah,
put them over the top.
You could even be the security guard guy,
I
like Dom. You could be the new.
He
Dom.
got tossed, but he should have got tossed. So don't touch people. But as a big guy,
but
you're
a big guy. Look at you.
Yeah, but he should
look
be playing.
At you.
He should be playing. So I'm not gonna go down there and be their security.
But as of right now, when I look at the schedule, and I hate to say it, I'm very sad about it, but the pulse is very tiny for the Bills, and it's looking better for Denver, Houston, and the Colts. That's what I got.
That was our moment of silence.
Yeah.
Because I think they're dead.
Wow. Wow.
So let's go through it. Bengals, Colts.
The Bengals do have a pulse, actually.
Yeah, that was a heck of a game.
Where are they? They're 6-6.
Yep.
I mean, they can beat the Vikings, Steelers, and Browns, I think, but they do have the Colts, which will be a huge game.
Yeah, there's a lot of big games coming.
And the Chiefs,
right?
Which really they could isn't it? No, the Packers beat them, but still, it's a possible win.
Oh yeah.
So they actually do still have a pulse, but they're kind of like the Bills. They got to kind of win out
and get help.
Yeah. What else you got?
Let's see. Because of Flacco, I think the Browns are like the Bills with a small pulse. What do you think?
They have a small pulse also, and actually Flacco played out of his mind. He actually played really good.
Yeah.
I would have took his stats.
I still think he could throw it over the mountains.
Yeah, I mean,
He's got a cannon.
he can't move.
No, he's old.
So I think if they're playing somebody, let's see, who are they playing? They play the Jags. That'll be a good game, I think. Bears, should be an easy win. But here you go, Texans and even the Bengals again. You got some players that can go after Flacco, and I don't think he's going to go anywhere. He's like he's got his feet in mud or quicksand or something. He can't move. But they do have a pulse. I mean, they're actually ranked 7th right now,
right?
And in the playoffs as we speak right now.
Right.
I just think that they're not going to make it.
Steelers
should have the best chance. They're ranked 5th right now. Is that crazy?
That is crazy. That's why I like. It's like
they are ranked 5th, and I have them out of the playoffs.
And now Mitch Trubisky gets his opportunity, on Thursday night.
Former Bill,
Yeah, and he's playing against,
Bills are on fire. Maybe he'll be on fire.
Patriots.
Right. Easy win. Should be.
Yeah, they got 2 stinky quarterbacks playing there, so.
But they're 7-5, and I have them finishing out the season at 9-8.
Wow.
One is the Patriots. One is, possibly the Bengals, or maybe they get lucky and, there's a Seahawks, Colts, and Ravens.
I'm going to make up a stat right now because I think it's true. But the Steelers seem to always find a way to be 9-8 and make it to the playoffs.
Not this year.
Not this year.
It's not going to happen. They could get to 10, and then the pulse is back up. Right. But I don't think so. I just don't. Neither quarterback can do it for them. Again, when I go to the head-to-head, teams, Jaguars, as long as Trevor Lawrence isn't hurt, right. He's the better quarterback.
Now you see why we spent so much more time in the AFC? Because it's a harder division conference.
It is.
And that's why the Dolphins are playing the NFC, and they don't have to worry about this every year. But one more team I want to ask you about. And here's a shout out to your friend Brian. How are the Jets doing?
They didn't have their quarterback. I'm gonna stick up for Brian here. Their quarterback went down. Who are we kidding? It wouldn't have mattered. No. It wouldn't have mattered. They're a joke.
It is.
Even with them in there.
Right.
Yeah, they're no pulse.
No
they're
pulse.
Dead.
They're dead.
They might have been one of the first teams to get killed. Yeah, they're done.
Died.
Yeah. Actually, one team we didn't talk about, I think. Did we talk about Denver?
Yeah, we talked about Denver.
Other than
they're head-to-heads and helping out everything. So what's their pulse?
Their pulse is they're probably going to make the playoffs. Wow. Last spot.
After getting 70 points dropped on them by the Dolphins. We're talking about
that was in the beginning of the season.
Getting into the playoffs.
I know.
It's crazy.
They're 5-1 the last 6 games. They did just lose to a red-hot Houston team.
Yeah.
But they have the Chargers twice. Bills are hoping that they lose one of those games. They have the Lions, so that could be a loss. Mm-hmm. But then they have the Patriots and the Raiders.
Way to set it up, NFL, just for the Denver Broncos to get in.
Well, hopefully either the Chargers or Raiders win that game. Because then the Bills really are back in it. Go Bills.
I would just like to say, from a Dolphins fan standpoint, how's it feel?
It's very, you know what? Yeah, I think as a Dolphins fan, though, that you'd want to play the Bills one more time. Because it could go 1-1.
We're gonna.
No. It could go 1-1, right?
Right.
So then, if we make the playoffs and maybe we get to play then we got some batting to do,
in
some
Miami.
bragging rights, maybe a haircut.
You don't want to come play us in Miami.
I believe that the Bills could beat you anywhere.
Ooh.
And that's a team that might
I know
not
one
make
place
the
they
playoffs.
can beat us, and that's Buffalo. And I know one thing. We're not going to Buffalo for the rest of the year.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah. Buffalo will be
on the road.
It won't be home team
Speaking
the
of
rest
that,
of the time.
so I'm going to say a little biasness here to the Dolphins, and it's going to go the other way.
Wait, you haven't done that yet?
Well, not the negative way.
Okay.
So,
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
and you've been sticking your neck out there, being a little negative for the Bills. So I'm going to do it though. Okay. The team that needs the number 1 seed in the AFC the most, to me, is the Dolphins, because they're 5-0 at home, and they're 4-3 on the road. Nobody is going to go into Miami and beat Miami. And if we're at home, number 1 seed, we don't have to worry about cold weather. You know, like the Ravens, they're fine. They can play in heat. They can play in the winter. Kansas City plays in the cold. They can play in the heat. Like, it's just more beneficial for the Dolphins to have that number 1 seed. And it'd be nice to say that we had it.
Were they playing the Ravens this year?
In Baltimore.
That's rough. Were they playing the Cowboys?
Miami. But it wouldn't matter because both teams, one's in the dome, and it's still hot in Texas. Well, warmer.
True, but that's still a home game.
Right, and we don't fare too well in domes.
That could be your first.
Right.
Nah, I don't think it's gonna be the Cowboys. And unfortunately, like you said, Ravens are away, so if they win,
right,
could be the Bills.
I doubt it.
You never know.
Doubt it.
Never know.
I'll tell you what.
Stay tuned.
If the Bills beat the Dolphins.
Here we go.
Kidding.
No.
Just kidding.
Let's go.
No, we're not going to do that yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not till it's closer.
Yeah, if it means something. It doesn't mean anything.
Right, yeah, because who knows? By then we're sitting our players. You guys are playing like heck against our second string, still losing.
Wow. Ooh. I don't think so, though.
Yeah.
You got to get through those Chiefs first, so. All right, well, that's the AFC then.
We did it.
We did it.
Thanks for watching.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Naysayers broadcast. That is wrong.